The markets are coming alive with action. We're going to talk XRP and Hbar price, along with what will it take for XRP to become digital gold and pass BTC. Grayscale's got a big challenge. The SEC's got 72 ETFs to approve, and
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Atkins and his team has 72 ETFs in the queue waiting approval. And there's deep green on the screen, so let's do this. Let's put my green on the screen. There you go. Now, before we get into it, your comments come first. Hot, spicy, naughty, relevant. Maybe I'll share where at the beginning of the next video. Fabio said earlier, BTC touched 88. Well, guess what? We're at 91.3, everyone. I love the juicy goodiness. Joe Buddy says, maybe the new WEC chair will say, put the bugs in the next chocolate, and they will eat the bugs in the chocolate. Yeah, this dude said water is not a right. So the WEF, World Economic Forum, yeah, it's led by a whole bunch of fucking wackos out there. Ugh, so disgusting, everyone. What else do I got for you? Backrat B says, speaking of Klaus, bitch better have my money. More like effing bitch halved my money. Well done, kind sir. Bitcoin sitting at 91,329. ETH at 1693. Sol at 144. ADA at 65.6. Look at that sweet Litecoin Doge. They're all deeper in the green, everyone. XRP at 215. Pi? No. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the hype either. We're going to talk XRP, Hbar price at the end. 44,272. We're catching up, Papa John's. That's right. You got 46,100 subs. We got 44 too. Hit that sub button. Uh-oh, retard alert. My Twitter information's linked down below. I asked you on Twitter, who's the biggest tard card on YouTube in the crypto space? I got a bunch of notifications. I'm going to read them when I'm done with this video. BTC crosses 91,000 for the first time in 50 days as the market is finally breathing some signs of life. Why? We got some SEC confirmation hearing. We got some big inflows in the market as well from some money. We got the SEC confirmation. That was important. Let's learn about it. Nominated by Trump and confirmed by the Senate in a 52-44 basically split down the partisan line vote earlier this month. Atkins is returning to the SEC chair. In his first public statement, he signaled crypto regulation will be a central focus. No kidding. Nate Geraci pointed out several key issues now fall under Atkinson's jurisdiction, along with the 72 ETFs. These include decisions around staking for Ethereum. Interesting. Now, Grayscale's got a challenge. I'm highlighting this because this is part of the ever-evolving market dynamic. Okay, remember when the BTC ETFs happened, when they first happened? And remember all the big outflows from Grayscale? And then remember when Grayscale lost their CEO? Well, this new guy here has a big problem. So here's what happened. Grayscale was one of the bigs in the crypto market. Then a whole bunch of competition came into the market. And with competition came lower fees. So you could get into crypto products for cheaper. Grayscale elected to reduce its GBTC fee to 1.5%, which was better than 2%, which it had, but a far cry from the 0.25% fee offered by BlackRock and Fidelity. So basically, the more competition there is in the crypto space, the better it is for you and I, the consumers, all right? So Grayscale is going to try to figure out how can we be profitable in this competitive market. And what you're seeing is that a lot of players out there are offering some super low fees in order to get into the crypto exposure. That's great for us. So what I'm sharing with you is this, okay? This is like version 2.0, 3.0 of the ETF market right now, where players can't get greedy because they know the consumer's looking around, they're shopping, and they're going, okay, I'm looking at this product, I'm looking at that product. I'm not paying 2%, I'll pay that 0.25%. And that's the same thing that's happening right now in the crypto market. People are looking at this going, okay, you're not doing good performance-wise. You're not doing, oh, but you are. I'm going to put my money there. You're seeing people become a lot more knowledgeable in the crypto space. So Grayscale and other fund managers out there really going to have to be good with this. Because there's a lot of money out there on the sidelines that's building up, waiting for direction from the SEC in regards to stablecoin regs, waiting for Congress and stablecoin regs, waiting for regs regarding the securities laws for cryptos and all that kind of stuff. Money's on the sideline. And these players like Grayscale, like BlackRock, like Fidelity, right? Like they're all waiting. Waiting to see what the regs do, but they want to make sure that they lure that new money in. So there's going to be competition, and that's good for us. What else do I got for you? This new FEC filings confirms Ripple's XRP donations second biggest to Trump's inauguration fund. Okay, so where does a lot of Ripple's money go? To supporting crypto. Let's learn. For context, the Trump transition team received $245 million in donations from hundreds of firms from Trump's inauguration for the 47th president of the United States. Notably, the FEC report indicated that $6.23 million was refunded. Okay, cool. Among the prominent donors who contributed to the fund was Ripple, Meta, Amazon, JP Morgan. Ripple contributed $4.9 million, the second largest single sum amongst all donors. The largest donor was Pilgrim, who gave $5 million to El Presidente. Oh, okay. So now Ripple's given a shitload of money to Trump for the inauguration, saying, hey, we give you money. Are you going to help us out with something? A handshake for me and a handshake for you. That's how we do United business in the United States. It's true. Yeah, I just share it with you because I bring you news, good, bad, happy, or sad. There are a lot of favors being exchanged in the United States for money, and that's how the political system works. So, will this benefit retail Ripple? Well, we'll find out. It's still early. What will it take for XRP to replace Bitcoin as digital gold? Store of value play. We're going to need to see first, how is XRP classified? As a commodity? As a security? Store of value play is where BTC really shines right now. That's why when you look at BTC, it's holding its value better than the rest of the market. That's why when you look at these stats here, BTC dominant. BTC holding its value, holding itself better on the downs, holding itself better on the ups. It's just the store of value. It's the, quote, digital gold play, and it's really not even like the same digital gold play, but it's close, right? That's a good comparison. For XRP to get there, we really need to get the regs, we need to get the classifications in, and we need to get the micro strategies, the meta planets, the state, the BTC reserves, the strategic reserves. You need to get more of that stuff for XRP, right? You hear a lot about that, with BTC. You hear some of it with like ETH for institutional stuff. You need to get more of that for XRP. We're still a ways away, but let's hope that the regs get us there. Now, in terms of what's going on with the market, volume picked up. Told you it would. Told you Easter would suck. And with the volume picking up, look at the prices on the screen. We got some really good juiciness happening. Now, with that juiciness, there's something I wanted to share with you. And this is why I wanted to bring up Hbar and XRP. Okay, over the last 7 days, check out Hbar. Up 11%. One of the best performers out there. Now, what's cool about that, though, is that each one of these is performing very differently. So, for instance, Hbar up 11% in the last 7 days, XRP up only 1.7. The time frames are very different. You look at the 1 year for Hbar looks very different than the 1 year for XRP. You look again at this and you go, okay, 90-day for XRP down 35%. 90-day for Dogecoin down 60%. 90-day for XLM down 44%. Everyone is working on their own different thing. The oscillations are happening at different times, and that's good. We're not a big blob anymore, and that's what we were used to for the last several years. BTC goes up, it kind of tugs us all up with it. BTC goes down, it tugs us down with it. Now things are kind of popping and dropping on their own time frames. Specifically with Hbar, all right? Got to pay attention to is this right here, right? That dip that we saw on the 7th of April, is this the bottom? Was 12-cent Hbar the low? Was that it? Was that the painful bottom that we all had to go through? Now, look at the volume though, right? Kind of low going into that. And since then, we had that big spike for a few days, and now we've kind of leveled off. So is that the players, the bigs, buying the dip? Gonna have to keep our eyes open, aren't we, right? Because if that's the case, then that tells us, all right, maybe we're turning things around. But we still haven't gotten through with the tariff stuff yet. We still haven't gotten through with the rate cuts. We still hear Jerome Powell saying, I might turn the money printer back on. That's not good for any of that stuff, right? But we're all kind of doing our own thing. And you are definitely seeing a little bit of an upswing-a-roni here with Hbar. That's good. Now, is it where we want to be? Hell no. We're nowhere near 30 cents. We hit that a few times here. We couldn't hold it. So no, we're nowhere near where we want to be. But yo, if the deal is that we touch the bottom, that we're done with the pain train as of April 7th, then okay, cool. I think we could all swallow that pain pill. Now for XRP, right, the chart does look a bit different. There's been quite a bit of support here on the 1 year. And like I said, the Hbar chart doesn't have that same support around that level. They look very different. XRP, we've kept talking about it. Yeah, you can snipe your sub $2 action. The volume for XRP, really juicy. 3.15 billion, up 13% from yesterday. Volume, very, very healthy regards to XRP. Price, mezzo. In terms of XRP wanting to replace BTC as digital gold, we talked about it earlier. Part of that's going to have to tie into volume. Part of it's going to have to be what? Store of value play. The other part of it's going to have to be the regs, classifications. We're also going to have to see what happens with the institutional players out there. There's a lot of institutional players that get big into BTC. I share all the time, MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, getting into BTC. They just bought this, they just bought that. El Salvador, their BTC. Like, you don't hear me talk about it with XRP the same way. So this looks good, don't get me wrong. But it could look better, right? But I'll be honest with you. Green on this screen, green on my background, and green on this screen, I'm not going to complain. But I will say that crypto is definitely maturing, and the market is definitely different than what we've been used to over the last several years. And these players all kind of seem to be doing their own thing, and I'm happy with that. And we get to see now if the new players, the new CEOs, can actually navigate these waters and see if they can do what's right for their companies and the customers. Because guess what? Now that there's more competition in the marketplace, that benefits you and me, because then the rates are favorable for you and me. And that's awesome, because competition in this space pushes the pieces of crap out and lowers the entry cost for us. That's awesome. And remember, my Twitter information, it's linked down below. So I want to know who's the biggest tard card in YouTube in the crypto space. What was that, Mr. Garrison? Uh-oh, class. Retard alert. Retard alert. Now, the story between Hbar and XRP, they're honestly very different. Hbar's not getting the same volume pumps as XRP is. Hbar's also not staying as relevant as XRP is. And let's be real here. As much as the case sucked, and as much as it's crappy to constantly hear about the case and all that, it's kept XRP relevant, right? As much as Gary Gensler was a complete D-bag, and as much as he was a total wang, he kept prices low for a while, which allowed people to stack. And honestly, he also kept XRP relevant. And that's kind of something. People say what? Like, any press is good press. And that's hard to argue. Because XRP's had that staying power in the news, in the media. And you see it with the volume. You see it with the ETF filings. You see it with the institutional players out there that want to play with the XRP-related products. Don't get me wrong. There are Hbar ETF products in the pipeline. But the volume isn't as strong. You don't see that same floor support with the pricing. You see a lot more retail support. You see a lot more social support. And you see a lot more institutional support with XP-related products. It's just how it is. So, as much as the case sucked, it, yes, did keep it relevant. Just the way things go sometimes. Sometimes poop news is good because some news is better than no news, right? You don't want to hear the crickets. Now, in terms of Jerome Powell, money printer go burr, I hope not. I just think the real story, though, is we need to know what's going to happen with Trump, China, and tariffs. We really got to iron this out, because as soon as we iron this out, then we can tackle rates. And then once we tackle rates, then hopefully we could stay away from money printer go burr, and then we'll be good. But I want to hear what your thoughts are. You think the market's going to keep pumping from here? I mean, BTC breaking 91,000 for the first time in 50 days. We start seeing some +7, +8% in the last 24-hour moves on the screen. I put my green back on instead of blue, and y'all know I love the blue because it looks so much cooler. But let me know your thoughts down below, because choo-choo what, girlfriend? Choo-choo bitches.